Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about sleep. Sleep is a big deal, a very big deal, because sleep is going to impact your hormones during the day. We are diurnal creatures, so most if not all of our hormones and neurotransmitters and a whole bunch of other stuff is on a daily cycle. So we need a good sleep in order for our body to really know what time it is. If we have a bad sleep, then things that should be peaking in the morning or peaking in the day don't, and then they can happen at night. So I'm 51 and I've noticed that my sleep has gotten a lot worse in general since I was in my 20s or my teens. So why is this such a common occurrence? And is it true that as you age, you need less sleep? Like old people sleep less, but they need less sleep and that's why they sleep less. No, they sleep less because they can't sleep longer. That's why older people sleep less, not because they need less sleep. So one of the underlying reasons for that, a very big underlying reason for that, is that our cortisol, so cortisol is a very major stress hormone in our body, and as we age, the base level of cortisol tends to creep up. And what happens with that is, okay, let's go back to, teens and 20s when your sleep is really good. Your cortisol is normally nice and low, and then in the morning your cortisol peaks. And that is part of your body's way of waking you up. Okay, so this peak in cortisol in the morning wakes you up. Now, what if your baseline cortisol was starting to creep up, as it does with a lot of older folks, myself included? What happens is that this higher cortisol baseline, like so it's happening all night, is preventing you from going into the deeper stages of sleep. So you sleep for a few hours and you wake up and you try to fall back asleep. And when I was younger anyway, I could sleep through anything, a rainstorm, trumpets blaring, whatever, sirens. And now my sleep tends to be lighter. So one of the first things we need to address for better sleep is to lower cortisol levels, because cortisol is a hormone that, as the baseline levels rise, it does other things besides mess with our sleep. It tends to reduce our muscle mass, because cortisol, being a stress hormone, is catabolic. It's the opposite of anabolic. So every day I take a couple of thousand milligrams of vitamin C, and this looks like it's backwards, but maybe it'll be forwards for you. But I take 1,000 milligrams in the morning, 1,000 milligrams at night of vitamin C, because that's proven with healthy human subjects to lower cortisol at a level of around 1 to 2,000 milligrams. Now, the vitamin C, I've noticed, can keep me up if I take it at night if I don't take it with lysine. So I also take vitamin C with lysine, and I discovered that by accident, because I was taking vitamin C together with lysine because they work together to make collagen in your body, so to give you good, strong connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, joints. So I normally was doing that anyway, but if I would forget the lysine, it happened a few times where I had a bad night of sleep, and I'm like, let me try taking the lysine really every night, every time I take my vitamin C for sure. And then I noticed that the vitamin C would slightly improve my sleep, but it wouldn't hurt my sleep. But without the lysine, with me anyway, and you got to experiment with yourself. I'm going to tell you things that I'm hoping are true universally, but there's going to be individual variation. There always is, right? So vitamin C plus lysine, about an equal dose at night, and I do it again in the morning for all the other benefits of vitamin C, which I could make like 5 more videos on that. Another big one is magnesium. So again, I apologize if this comes out backwards. To me, it looks backwards right now, but it might straighten out on YouTube. We'll see what happens. But I take magnesium every night, every single night. I've been doing that for way over 10 years, because there's a lot of athletic research with magnesium. What they're finding in athletic research is that magnesium helps you to gain strength. In the same amount of time, you're gaining more strength than if you weren't taking magnesium. So magnesium really nourishes your muscles, and it really nourishes your heart, which is a muscle. It's mostly muscle. And so I do that every night, and that's proven in baby research, adult research, and senior research to improve your sleep quality. Magnesium, very important for sleep. Now, my diet is phenomenal. My diet is awesome. I'm eating so much fruits, vegetables, really good proteins, including like dark legumes, which are rich in magnesium, nuts and seeds, and dairy products, which I rotate on and off. And so my diet is great, all organic, but I still take magnesium because our diet is kind of empty. You know, like we've been growing the same, we've been growing food on the same soil for 100, 150 years in the New World, and for thousands of years in the Old World, growing food on the same soil. So we're sucking minerals out of the soil, and after a while, the soil is very low in minerals because we're putting in like 2 or 3 minerals, NPK. So nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium is mostly what we're fertilizing with. Nitrogen isn't even a mineral. So you can imagine that our produce has much less minerals, and this has been studied over the past over 100 years. Food in North America has gone down precipitously in its mineral content. So that's why I eat a lot of seaweed too, to get good minerals. So far we talked about vitamin C, magnesium for helping sleep, vitamin C with lysine. The magnesium is a heavy hitter. And you can also take herbs. So this is one anti-stress. You can take herbs that will lower cortisol. And in my feedback with a lot of clients, when they try herbs that lower cortisol, they're sleeping really noticeably better, like a really higher quality of sleep. They're sleeping more deeply, they're waking up less. If they wake up, they're able to fall back asleep, and they're just feeling better the next day, which is what we all want. Like, that's why people like me that are kind of sleep obsessed, we just want to have a really good day. And I know if my sleep is bad, I'm not going to have a good day in terms of my mood, my energy, right? This herb, Siberian ginseng, you can try taking this right before bed, because Siberian ginseng is also known to help lower your cortisol. So there's a number of herbs that are called adaptogenic. Adaptogenic herbs help to protect or support your body against stress, and the adaptogenic herbs will tend to lower cortisol. So we're talking about magnolia, Siberian ginseng, as I've mentioned, rhodiola rosea also is helpful for lowering cortisol. Adrenal substance, which they get from adrenal glands of cows, can also help strengthen your adrenals and lower your stress hormones. So this is what I do for helping sleep. Now, in terms of what you're eating before going to bed, again, you're going to have to experiment, okay? Because I've talked to people that sleep better when they go to bed with a very light stomach, so they haven't eaten for a couple hours. And I'm the opposite. I sleep best when I have a medium-sized meal within an hour of going to bed. So a large snack or a medium-sized meal with a good amount of carbs and proteins. So that's what helps me to sleep in terms of dietary. So you're going to have to see for yourself, are you sleeping better if you go to bed with food in your tummy? Are you sleeping better if you go to bed with your tummy like half empty, or mostly empty, or a little bit of appetite, let's say? There's a homeopathic that I take, Nux vomica. So Nux vomica, oh no, sorry, I picked up an arnica. So Nux vomica is a homeopathic that can help if your brain is being really active and you're like, I just want to slow these thoughts down. I mean, magnesium will help you to do that too, but Nux vomica is a homeopathic that will help to quiet your mind if you've got too much going on in your mind. You've got a lot of things, like, your head hits the pillow and all of a sudden you start thinking about all this stuff. So Nux vomica can help with that. Nux vomica is also very useful to have in your little cupboard, medicine cupboard, because it also helps if you feel like, oh, I shouldn't have ate that extra piece, or I ate a bit too much and now my stomach feels a little overwhelmed. So any time of the day that you feel like you've eaten too much or it's sitting heavy in your stomach, Nux vomica will help you to feel lighter in your digestion. Of course, as a nutritionist, I really like to recommend enzymes to promote digestion. But Nux vomica is useful, like I say, if you feel like you've eaten a bad combination or too much. But homeopathy also works on the mind, in that example of like you've got too much on your mind or too much happened in a day and you're kind of frazzled, and then Nux vomica will help to calm that. All right.